So Honda has finally launched a bike that we Indians need. Actually a bike that we deserve. And like anything that seems too good to be true, the CB500X was no exception to this reality. The price bomb was dropped. Instead of thriving in the price bracket between the KTM and the Versys, she competes directly with the Versys. We will be comparing the Honda against the Benelli and the Kawasaki 650, and let's understand if she is really worth the premium price. We will be covering up only the points that actually matter to a rider and would skip the technical details which is widely available over the net. Now let's start with the power. The Honda and the Benelli have identical 46.80 horsepower figures. The Versys produces a healthy 65 horsepower. In terms of torque, the Honda produces 43.2 Nm of torque, the Benelli 46 and the Versys 61 Nm. Now the Versys almost has a 20 horsepower and a 20 Nm torque advantage over the Honda. While all of this sounds impressive theoretically, what matters is how the bike actually performs on the road. The Honda has a very linear power delivery. The bike's behavior is extremely predictable thanks to this. This is also a plus point for anyone who wants to upgrade to a big capacity bike. The Benelli's motor only comes to life at higher RPMs. That means every time you want to overtake, you have to lower a gear, twist the throttle, and then she lunges ahead, which is not very convenient for long rides. The engineers at Kawasaki have done a wonderful job retuning her for her touring ability. Even though she's missed out a bit on the top end power, the Versys has a very usable low end as well as mid-range torque. This allows the Versys to overtake on highways without having the need to shift any gear. When it comes to adventure, ground clearance is extremely important. The Honda CB500 comes with a respectable 181mm of ground clearance, the Benelli at an impressive 220mm of ground clearance, and the Versys at a 170mm. Both the Honda and the Benelli get 19-inch rims up front with semi-off-road tire tread. The Versys gets a 17-inch rim at the front with road bias tires. Benelli is the only player in this competition that comes with spoke wheels. The Honda and the Versys come with alloys. Again, we got to consider the fact that most of us are not going to thrash these expensive machines taking them off-road. Hence, even though spokes is a plus point and looks damn sexy on the Benelli, it is definitely not a game changer in this competition at least. With reference to accessibility, the Honda comes at a seat height of 820mm, which is the lowest. The Benelli and the Versys comes at a high 840mm. The Honda will definitely be more comfortable and accessible for shorter riders. Or you could always opt for the cheaper road biased Benelli 502 with an even lower seat height of 800mm. Apart from the engine and the features, one very important aspect that all buyers consider is the presence that these bikes command over the road. With reference to the appearance, the TRK by far looks the best over here. She easily looks like a 1200cc serious off-road adventure tourer. The Versys comes second and the Honda looks smallest as compared to both of them. The Benelli gets a massive chunky 50mm fork up front. The Honda and the Versys get a 41mm suspension. Unfortunately, Honda gets the traditional suspension as compared to inverted fork. But again, knowing Honda and the engineers, the suspension is tuned perfectly for on as well as off-road duties. In terms of length, the Benelli is an impressive 1525mm long, the Honda at 1445mm and the Versys at 1415mm. Longer the wheelbase, more stable is the bike on long stretches of highways. Shorter the wheelbase, more flickable the bike feels over corners. The Honda fits right in between. Now considering these bikes are going to be taken for long tours, the overall weight of the bike also does matter. The Honda is the lightest over here at 197 kgs, the Versys at 218 kgs and the TRK at a mammoth 235 kgs. Apart from the weight distribution in a bike also is a major consideration. The Benelli is a bike that feels top heavy, hence she doesn't inspire confidence over the corners. The Kawasaki engineers have done an amazing job in centralizing the weight at the bottom of the Versys. Hence she takes corners far more confidently as compared to the Benelli. The Honda being the lightest will definitely be the least tiring to ride for long distances. and this is a massive plus point that the Honda gets. In terms of fuel capacity, the Honda has the smallest tank at 17.7 liters, the Benelli at 20 liters, and the Versys at an impressive 21 liters. Since Honda will easily be the most fuel efficient out of these three, the overall range would almost be the same for the Honda, the Benelli, as well as the Versys. Now comes the main deciding factor, the price. The massive chink in the Honda's armor is her price. She is priced at an exorbitant 6.87 lakh rupees. In comparison, the Benelli 502X would be priced between 5.5 to 5.7 lakhs, and the very capable Versys is priced at 6.94 lakh rupees. The Honda CB500X is a direct comparison to the KTM Adventure abroad. The Versys is at a completely different category. It's like comparing a US Sherman against a German Panther II. Okay, for people who do not know World War II tank history, it's like comparing a Mahindra Scorpio with a Ford Endeavour. Both of them are capable SUVs but positioned at different verticals. Now a short comparison with her true competitor, the KTM Adventure. The KTM Adventure is priced at 3.14 lakh rupees. Now in comparison, you could buy two KTM Adventures at the price of one Honda CB500X and still have 6,000 rupees to spare for fuel. The only advantage that Honda really has over the Benelli and the Kawasaki is the after sales service that Honda Big Wing service centers provide. Apart from an amazing service, the spare parts of Honda is also considerably lower. Benelli unfortunately is not known for their reliability in terms of their aftermarket service. The Kawasaki will definitely be at least 30% more expensive to maintain as compared to the Honda. But at the same price, you get a far more superior bike. We feel the Kawasaki is a clear winner in this comparison. Let us know your views on the same. Thank you.